So I haven't done a vlog for ages because I've just been really busy, and lots of horses in, couple in for schooling, and been busy with the hounds. We've been busy doing our calendar, so if anybody wants a calendar, it's a good one this year. There's semi-naked people, some you may or may not recognise. So if you want one, send us an email at norvalleybloodhounds@gmail.com. Anyway, so I thought rather than keep putting it off, I was going to do one on the hounds, introduction to the hounds, and just show you the hounds, tell you a few of their names, see if you can recognise any of them, but just been too busy. So I thought, well, I'll just ride the horses and put my PIVO on, and you can see me schooling some of the horses. I haven't seen it yet. I've got to edit it, and I'm sure it'll be terrible because I haven't ridden in my dressage saddle for ages. I've picked up some very bad habits, and a couple of the horses have been off. So anyway, we'll see whether you like it or not. I've now finished riding them, and I'm about to groom them. Anyway, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So this first horse I'm riding is a 4-year-old warm blood called Lady, and she's come in for schooling. She belongs to a girl called Riley Kendall, who happens to be my son Joseph's girlfriend. Riley is a 19-year-old show jumper who has just been accepted on something very exciting. I'll add a picture in a minute. Unfortunately, Riley's had to have an operation on her hip and can't ride for 3 months, and so has sent Lady for me to do a bit of schooling. She's come in. She has a tendency to be a little bit gobby. I think Riley's found her a bit inconsistent in the contact. So I've just been trying to work her to a steadier contact. She's quite like Brody in that she is either all or nothing. She drops behind a bit and then grabs hold. So I've just been trying to work on getting it a little bit more consistent. But I'm going to stop and show you a little picture of Riley because she's just been accepted onto the gold performance pathway. She's a show jumper, as I said, and she's been very successful. She had a really successful year. So I'm going to attempt to insert a picture. So I'm just going to be working on the consistency in the outline, keeping her moving forwards. She's a lovely mare. She's really sweet. She's been very well produced by Riley. I think Riley broke her in as a 3-year-old. Actually, she rides older. She's got an older brain than a 4-year-old. I'm just sort of trying to get her to stay in a rhythm, to stay in a nice outline. I'm doing a little bit of work on the 3/4 line, so not working against the railings the whole time. Obviously the railings are good. They give you a bit of stability to help keep them straight, but it's really good exercise to work them away from the railings as well, especially with the young horse, just to try and make sure that they're listening to you and that you've got a bit of straightness. She's a good girl, very sweet. She really tries to listen. I'm noticing I think I should have had a sports bra on. I've also picked up some very bad habits of leaning forwards too much. Definitely need to sit up more. I'm just trying to, on the right rein, she doesn't bend as much around the right leg. She finds it harder to bend around my inside leg, so I just put a circle in and just try and get her to encourage her to really bend. And I'm doing a little bit of leg yielding from the 3/4 line to the track, which again just gets them listening to the leg. and just encouraging her to move sideways away from the leg. I'm just doing a little bit more leg yield that way. A little bit of movement in my hands. I think I need to just be a little bit steadier. And you can see just occasionally she drops behind that contact. I'm just trying to keep that rein very even. Oh, a little play. She's got 3 lovely paces actually. It's very sweet, very obliging. And then I'm just giving away the rein, just making sure she's in self-carriage. But she's good for a 4-year-old. A little bit of, you can see where she just came against me a little bit. She's really starting to work well. She's there giving away the rein. And she's holding herself together. It's very comfortable mare. And I just keep changing the, whether I'm going on a bigger circle or smaller circle round the outside, away from the track a little bit. Oh, it's not too bad a transition. Just curling under a bit. Just need to lift her up a little bit. And yeah, we've got a little bit fiddly there, both her and me. Good girl. Definitely need to sit up more. Need to take my shoulders back. Tits out, as they say. Definitely a better bra. That's a better transition. We'll ignore the little buck. When on my first transition, she's just feeling a little bit fresh, which is fine. Nice canter. She just probably needs to be a little bit more off my leg in the canter. She has a habit of, she sits in quite a nice canter, but it's not really, she's so powerful, she doesn't really use everything, so it would be easy to just let her give you probably 50% or 60% of what she can give you. But at this stage, it's not too big a problem. She's only 4. Just having a little walk. Nice walk. She sometimes doesn't walk out. I've really been trying to encourage her to walk out and stride forwards a bit more on a walk. Try and do quite a lot of transitions because, again, it really gets them listening to your leg. It's definitely getting better on this range. She used to falling quite a lot, but this looks too bad for her. Oh, so now I'm on Mozette. Now, when I rode Mozette, I hadn't ridden him in the school for a long time, and I got on him and I thought, wow, he feels amazing. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's so behind the vertical, so tucked in, which he really didn't feel it when I was riding him. He felt quite good. But yeah, he's very behind the vertical. He's so long, it's really deceptive to ride. He's such a big horse and so long. That I think he gets away with it without me realising it from on top. But it's definitely an area that I will do a follow-up recording, and hopefully you'll see that I've made a difference, not allowing him to curl in quite so much. But it's been interesting watching this because it definitely didn't feel like he was that curled in. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of schooling. Mozette's been my field master's horse. And unfortunately, because I lost Ned. Mozette is my sole horse to be the film master, so he's been quite busy, so he's not done a lot other than just hunting. But it was a real treat to ride him in the school, actually. I'd forgotten how nice he was. He's lovely. He's got some lovely paces. He's a very lucky girl. So again, I'm just trying to do a trot circle, 10-metre circle, and then walk and do the walk circle. The same, just repeating it in walk and then in trot. Again, just making sure he's bending around my inside leg. And now I'm doing the trot circle again. And I would imagine I might do another walk circle again. No, I'm doing a smaller circle. Again, just making sure he's coming round. Yeah. And then I'm going into walk and doing the same again in walk. Again, I just, a little lift there, just saying, come on, just don't go around. So I am aware a little bit, but watching it is quite interesting. He's quite different to Lady. He's got a much more spring in his step. She's not more spring, it's the wrong word. He's just a little bit more elevated, but he's obviously older and has done quite a lot of schooling. So again, I'm just doing a little bit of leg yielding, making sure he's listening to my leg, and eye strut. It's very active. Again, I'm just a little lift there. Say, come on, up. Just lift your head a little bit. I need to lift his head a little bit more. And again, I'm repeating the exercise on the other rein just to make sure there, thank you, finally, Justine, lift him up a little bit. He's just a little bit overbent. Just making sure that I've got the same feeling and he's even on both reins. In fairness, Mozette is quite even on both reins. He's so lovely. It's a little bit better. Just like him a little bit more vertical. That's a little bit better. Nice trot, though. Just move my left hand a little bit more than my right. I just need to keep my left hand stiller, and occasionally you'll see my left hand is a little bit higher than my right. And again, need to try and keep them even. I think it's more my hand. I don't think I'm sitting one way. I think I'm sitting evenly. But I am definitely elevating my left hand a bit more. I need to probably raise my outside shoulder. I definitely need to sit up and look up more. A little bit more leg yield. Serpentine. Really thinking about sometimes a great exercise. You just really need to think about the change in direction, preparation, You start turning to the right, you should really think of the right bend and then start immediately thinking of left bend, just so you plan ahead, where you're going to turn, where you're going to ask for the change of bend a little bit. So now I'm changing the rein and probably going to have a canter in a minute. Oh, having a walk. Oh, nice halt. That's a little bit better in the outline. Now having a canter. So the temptation for me with Mozette is to really try and pull him together too much, because I tend to have little bouncy horses, and he's very big for me. Well, he's much bigger than I'm used to, and he's longer than I'm used to, and I really have to steel myself not to pull him together and to allow him to be in the frame that he needs to be in. Again, I'm just pressing him on a little bit. He tends to be a little bit idle, and because I've not cantered for a while, or school for a while, I think I'm about to do a flying change. Lovely change. Because I've not schooled him for a while, he can be a little bit lazy in the school, but actually he was on really good form. Lovely trot. It's just a little bit idle in the canter, but not too much. So because of that, I was just asking him, just looks there. You see, I've just gone back to trot to just get a slightly better canter transition, a little bit more energy in it. You could still do with a bit more energy. Yeah, definitely needs a little bit more power. And I'm probably just going to press him on a little bit there. Yeah. That's better. That's a better outline. A little bit more off my leg. Definitely need to do more schooling. For me, I need to get a little bit more supple, a little bit stiller in my seat. He's a good boy. I'm obviously enjoying my changes because I'm about to do another one by the looks of things. Hey, good boy. I'm just doing a little bit of shouldering. I'm doing the shouldering in rising trot because I haven't schooled for ages and I'm a little bit stiff and I didn't want to be bouncing around on his back, so I just stayed. Obviously it's easier in sitting trot, but not if I'm banging around like a 52-year-old granny. I'm not a granny yet, thank God, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I just need to get a little bit suppler, a little bit fitter. Hopefully my Pilates is helping. Again, just bring them on from my leg a bit. And then I circle away from the fencing, so he's really listening to me. He's a good boy. A really nice trot. He was a good boy. It was definitely better at the end. And big pats for Mozette. He's so lovely. So I'm just walking him off, giving him a long rein, and giving him a pat. And then I think I'm making a wardrobe adjustment here. I've got my Russian knickers on. And they were rushing up my bum. And yeah, he's then going to go in and I'll get the next one out. I'm obviously really enjoying it. He's a good boy. So next one, it's Brody's turn. And Brody hasn't actually been in school for quite a while because unfortunately he was really poorly and had to go to Rossdale's for 4 days. He had a displaced colon, just one of those things, no reason, just happened. And yeah, so we rushed him to Rossdale's and he stayed there for 3 days. Luckily, they just treated him medically. He didn't have to have an operation. And since then, he's had obviously a quiet time, a bit of time off. And then we just had to do a blood test to make sure his bloods were back to normal. And now he's back in full work. This was before I clipped him, before Kelly clipped him. So I didn't do an awful lot, but he is so handsome. So I normally start off letting him really stretch down. He's quite a short coupled, so I just make sure he's using his back and just stretching a little bit long and low to start with. Just helps him get a little bit of swing there. Although I felt like we were stretching more than what we were, and again, I really felt like I was sitting up. I kept saying to myself, right, sit up nice and tall, but I really got into bad habits. There goes those Russian knickers again. Excuse me. And yeah, I felt like I was sitting up better on Brody. I thought, come on, Justine, really sit up. But this Pivo is unforgiving. Again, Brody's very similar to Lady. He tends to sit behind or then get a little bit gobby. And in the canter, he's cheeky because he kids me into believing that he's carrying himself, and then all of a sudden he just drops away from me. So I'm working quite hard on that. There may be a bit where you'll see what I mean when we get to the canter. I'm just not asking a massive lot of him. As I say, he's not long been back in normal work, so I was just keeping it fairly simple. Just having a stretch. He's a very handsome boy. So Elliot's winding him up a little bit. You can see Elliot cantering around in the field. Brody thought he was going to go out of the arena then. He's very well behaved. They're all well behaved actually. They've all got quite cheeky characters which I like, but they are all very well behaved. You see there, just a little bit coming against me a tiny bit. I like that trot. I'm definitely keeping my hands a bit more even than I was on Mozette. My left hand's not quite as high as it was on Mozette. Still need to work on that. Definitely need to work on the Note Self sports bra. It's quite a nice walk. Quite a nice transition. Possibly a little bit quick. I could just slow my rising down a little bit. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just a little bit quick. Well, that's okay. Like I say, I've not schooled him for a little while, so. So again, I'm just doing a little shallow loop there. Just getting him to listen to me. Just a tiny shallow loop, nothing massive. Just so he's moving away and you get a little bit of tiny change of bend. Now I'm going down the 3/4 line and I'm doing a bit of leg yielding. Do you like my leg yielding? It's good exercise. So leg yielding is where the head and neck stays in the direction they're going, and if I'm on my left rein, I'm leg yielding to the right. So from the 3/4 line to the track, keep the head and neck straight, and you with your inside leg, press them away from your inside leg, just to step over, and they should cross their legs behind to step over in a sideways direction, but without too much alteration of the bend of the head and neck. And see there, I stayed on the 3/4 line. And again, it's quite good because if you just do a leg yield, they anticipate it. So you can occasionally just go down the 3/4 line and go straight. And it's really good. And now I've done a bit of leg yielding. But it's a good indication whether you've got good straightness, good test. That's nice. I like that. Nice transition. And I probably see me a couple of times just taking my hand forwards just to make sure he's carrying himself. Like I said, he tends to trick me a little bit. And I feel like I've got him in self-carriage, and then he just drops out of the canter with very little warning. There you go, I've just put a little bit of leg on because I obviously could feel him. And again, when he went into the trot, he just dropped into the trot. So it wasn't a true transition into the trot. I was just giving and retaking the inside rein. Just definitely making some adjustments there. Just need to trust him a little bit. I think sometimes I do too much and work too hard, and then that doesn't really help the horse. They've got to do it themselves. And certainly in that last bit, I just looked like I was working a bit hard. I just need to allow him and sit a bit quieter. It's a little bit better now. Again, I'm working down the 3/4 line so that he wasn't cantering down the 3/4 line so that he's not using the, very good boy. Nice halt. Not done many halts with him. I need to start doing some more, really. I need to go to a dressage competition, so I've got something to aim for, movements to aim for. It's always good to have an aim. Oh, that's a nice transition. Possibly got a little bit too much inside bend on this rein. There we go. I'm giving away the rein. He's a good boy, and you'll see he's keeping his head and the head and neck in the same place, so he's carrying himself, which is good, which is what I want. Nice outline. Definitely ready to go and do a dressage competition. It'll be good for him to go out actually and do something different. There, I'm going down the 3/4 line again. As I say, it's good to just make sure I've got the straightness, that he's working independently. So it's a good exercise. It's not always very easy on a young horse. A little bit onwards, not too much. Could have gone more. Again, we just fell into that rather than stepping into it. Just collapsed into it a bit. Again, I'm just slightly overworking, working a bit too hard. Like to see me just sitting a little bit quieter, doing too much. Looks a bit better. Oh, there we go. So here is Mozette. Are you on camera shy? Here is Mozette, known as Manny, because he looks like Manny from this angle. Yeah, from my side. Hello, Manny. Hello, Manny. So I rode Mozette in the school for the first time in ages, because he's been doing a lot of hunting. It's my fieldmaster's horse. God, he looks lovely. He's so shiny. He's so shiny. Oh, yes, he's so shiny. Anyway, it's grooming time. So horses are all tucked up for the night. Just about to give them their feed. I've just got to swap a couple over. Brody's in his stable. His stable's all lovely and ready for him. Look at that nice bed. And he's got full of water. And he's got his nose bag full of haylage. So he's all ready. He's just waiting for his food. Anyway, I hope you like the video. If you do, subscribe to the channel, give me a like, leave a comment as what you might want to see on another time, and follow me on Instagram. And yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Next one should be our Christmas ride, fancy dress Christmas ride. So that's coming up next. Bye.